It's 3:17 in the morning. I can't sleep again. My heart is racing, and that stupid inner monologue is whispering, you can't go to sleep. You don't deserve it. If you sleep now, you're going to fall behind. And I spent 20 years of my life in that exact scenario. I would have no trouble falling asleep, get after it during the day, whether that was in college, studying engineering, my military training. I had an ROTC scholarship, whether that was at my Special Operations Command in Little Creek, Virginia, as a bomb technician. I could get to sleep, but I couldn't stay to sleep, and man, it cost me. So if that's you, we're going to talk about some techniques today. And for a long time, I thought it was the mechanics of sleeping. That played a part of it. And thankfully, I had a sleep tracking device that I was using to monitor my sleep, my REM, all those things. So, empirical data, I was able to run experiments and kind of figure out what worked best for me. But underlying is the emotional issues, right? And this is going to be a deeper dive, a 12-minute video or so stick with me to the end. I'm going to give you 3 tactics. Me, Brian Muka, you're a Freedom Sherpa, teaching you low cost, no cost options here on YouTube. How to win the life game, how to get more results by working less, not more. Freedom is the point. And if it isn't fun, probably doing it wrong. In 2017, I worked for Quidel at the time. I won Salesman of the Year. I earned that. And I remember going to sleep that night. Like, I'm the guy, I was on stage 5 times. President's Club, going to Costa Rica. Yeah. I had a top hat and like a tux on for that night. And I remember talking to my sales mentor, Jock. I was like, what can I do to repay you for all of the mentorship? Get on stage. We have a great picture, he and I. I finished the awards. The band starts playing. Guess what's on? Yeah, if you said don't stop believing, you'd be right. I don't wait. I don't hesitate. I get on stage and I say to the band, it's kind of my night. You mind if I sit in? And I sang Don't Stop Believing. Because really my story, and it's kind of a prayer I have for you too. Don't stop believing. And I went to sleep. And I remember I had a great time dancing what I thought was the most beautiful woman at the sales conference. I just, in that split second, I was satisfied. I went to sleep. Woke up at like 4:12, and I stared at the ceiling, and I heard the voice again. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. You're not that good. Because my VP of sales, she just whispered this one line. It rattled around my brain a long time. Wow, isn't this a surprise? It was also the feeling I had for a long time. I'm behind. I'm not strong enough, not fast enough, so I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve the rest. I'm already behind. Maybe you can relate to that. Why does this matter? I've been studying a lot of Chase Hughes. He's all over the internet. I have his book, The Behavioral Ops Manual. I'm really glad I got that. Great course. Book's great. And there's a great why behind it. Chase he has a brain disease. And he's trying to take care of his family. So, and buy his stuff. He's trying to leave his legacy. Similar to me, I think, in this YouTube channel, leaving my footprints in the sand where I'm not here anymore. What did I do to make Earth a better place? My specific mission with you today is, how do you have more freedom? So we're talking about the vitalness of sleep. If my 28-year-old self could hear me, he would punch me squarely in the face because, I came from a special operations community. I was in Little Creek. I wasn't a SEAL. I was a bomb technician, lieutenant, platoon commander. We're pretty proud of I'll just sleep when I'm dead. So let me throw 14 years onto that stupid idea. That was dumb. The physios, the docs, the SEAL teams, they would measure the hormones of these operators, these 4, 5, 6 deployment SEALs. They'd have testosterone similar to 85-year-old men. Old man. Sleeping, you're dead. Well, if you don't sleep, you'll be dead sooner, right? Jeff Bezos, he said, I sleep 8 hours a day because it's in the best interest of my shareholders. And finally, I'm going to leave you this chilling idea, just for some motivation. I'm struggling with sleep. Stick with it. It's solvable. So Chase Hughes, behavior ops, open loop to you there. If I want people more compliant, I'm going to starve them of sleep. It's the opposite of the progress that we want, right? So we want to get more, working less, right? Sleep's vitally important. And if I could bottle that into a supplement in order, it would be sleep. It would be full spectrum sunlight. Those things go hand in hand. By the way, we'll talk about it. Part of the 3 tools, the weapons that you have at your disposal to get better sleep. And then walking or flow rope, something easy, some sort of yin restorative yoga, Tai Chi Gong practice, not slaying dragons and fire breathing. What if the system is set up for you to be tired? In fact, they don't want you to sleep, right? So what are the impediments to sleep? And 85% of you are men, right? So we're going to address those concerns. Late night sports, drinking, right? That steals sleep. Binge watching your favorite show, that's it. Porn, the dopamine stealers, right? So the difference between the most successful and the unsuccessful is our relationship with dopamine. And so before bed, I didn't know this until pretty recently. Before bed, if I look at blue light, like from these screens, a bunch of lights happening, and I'm getting close to when I need to shut off my lights. The hour before bed, if I am watching a screen that's radiating blue light or lamps that have blue light, I lose half of my melatonin and the sleep hormone. So ideally, what I want to do is light discipline. Important in combat, important for winning the sleep game. And just get yourself a pair of red lenses, right, to block out the blue light. And I want to block blue light at least 2 hours before I go to sleep. It's huge. That's a $30 solution. The system is designed to keep you tired, sleepless. Late night eating, they want you tired. Because if you're tired, you're more compliant. If you're tired, you can't perform as much. If you're tired, you can't do the deep level of thinking. You can't watch your thoughts and be proactive. You must be reactive to this matrix, okay? And you all know who they are. One of the biggest things for me was worry. So we're going to address that first. So I assume, the sleep mechanics, there's a ton of videos on that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking the emotion and frequency of getting better sleep. Let me build another picture for you too. So what's on the other side of solving sleep? It's like taking TRT without having to take exogenous TRT. You're making your own and growth hormone. It happens while you're sleeping, right? So level 1, physical. Level 2, emotional. My brain is healing itself. Deep learning. When I was in college, I was getting 4.5 hours of sleep while I was studying engineering, doing ROTC and training as a military athlete. My second semester, I failed Physics 2 and Calc 2 because I couldn't think. 4 hours of sleep a night. I was sleeping, I'm dead. I almost died. Third thing. I'm just going to reference the Bible as a story. Joseph, as the story goes, father to Jesus and husband to Mary, had a dream that Herod was coming to kill his family, his son specifically. That came to him in a dream. Pretty important through all the literature, these dreams, maybe premonitions about what's about to happen. What can I integrate? And then we'll do another video on this, but lucid dreaming. How do I interact with my subconscious mind, the superconscious mind while sleeping? And there's advantages. If you're leading companies solving complex problems, sometimes those answers can come to you in a dream. And in the words of Pablo Picasso, inspiration works. It must first find you working. I want to get the worry out of my mind. How do I do that? Grab a journal, write it out. Write out, here's what I'm worried about. I have due dates, I'm going to put it on the calendar. I'm going to cash out. And then also I'm going to borrow something from 10x is easier than 2x and the gap is in the gain. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to list out everything that I did really well today. This really helps. This seems silly. I hear gratitude all over the place. It really is the superpower. Can I be grateful for putting in a hard day's work that I am proud of? Because left to my own devices, I am not proud of my days usually. I focus on the things that I missed, not all of the altitude that I gained. And so I got to write down every night, here's the wins that I had. And the nights that I feel the shittiest, those are usually the nights that I got the most done. Let's think about that for a second. So I get more of what I am, right? So if I'm unhappy with myself, I get more things to be unhappy about. And the days that I feel like I did the least, I actually did the most. And so it's all about frequency. So Neville Goddard talks about whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm vibrating on the 15 minutes before I go to sleep, I get 8 hours of that. That's the most critical 15 minutes of the day. And if I'm fretting about my day, I didn't do enough, I'm going to have all kinds of reasons to say that again, even worse tomorrow. Here's a cool idea. This is from Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, Gap in the Game. Forecast your wins as if they're already done for tomorrow, too. I get to start to play with some timelines in that. It's one of my favorite things. When I started journaling, I started sleeping better. I had to get those bouncing rocks out of my brain. There's two things mechanically I find to be really, really useful. And one is an eighth teaspoon of sea salt underneath the tongue, an eighth to a quarter. I don't know why that works. It just works. You can look up the science in that. There's something really calming to the nervous system in that. And then also, I like doing a teaspoon of honey. And I tried a lot of different things. That teaspoon of honey made the biggest difference in me sleeping through the night. Okay, so there's a mechanical thing, there's an emotional thing, and temperature. Temperature is critical. So if you have access to a sauna, you have access to a hot shower. What I want to do is to get really, really hot so that like 10 minutes afterwards, my body feels cool. Like I want the sheets to feel cool, and I want to like kind of warm up in bed. No light, right? So it's already been an hour since I've looked at a screen or blue light at this point. I've showered, I have journaled, I have forecasted my wins for tomorrow, and just that little bit of chilliness as I go to sleep. So you can do that by getting a hot shower and then sort of like letting the water evaporate, or hopping into a cold plunge or a cold shower. Your choice. Figure out which works better for you, but the temperature is critical. And if your cave is too warm, like for me, it's like 68. 68 is about right. 74, I can't sleep. Also paying attention to my eye mask. The other noise. So we had to take the collar off the Chihuahua. Because when she gets up in the middle of the night, she's like, she like makes the jingle jangle sound. And that wakes us both up in that. The most important thing is to really treat sleep like it's a ceremony. To like honor myself, and in some of the ancient traditions, it's like dying. To let go of the day. As men, it's especially hard to let go. To fall back into sleep. Because eventually, for the day that I leave this earth, I will have practiced. And there's such wisdom on the other side of deep sleep. And I use a Phoenix 8. The sleep tracking on this is pretty good. There's all kinds of ways. That's not a particular plug. I'm just telling you what I use. I like that system. It tells me total sleep. It tells me how much time I spent in REM, deep sleep and light sleep, and how many times I got up, and also measures if I snore or not. It turns out eating dairy and bread before bed is a great way to keep my partner awake at night, which is a good way for me to die early. So I don't recommend that. So that's the mechanical triage of sleep. But really, like if you're starting to think maybe there's like an unworthiness issue, a self-love issue, the mechanics of sleep, if I'm judging myself as I go to sleep and these aren't working, I put together a whole protocol for you in school. So it's also Freedom Sherpa, made that easy. So come visit us. Come to the community. Come to a couple of morning dojos, and we will work this stuff together. You don't have to do this alone. I know the society gives a lot of praise to the men and women, but women are just so good at finding community and helping each other out. Like as men, we get to do that. We can do that too. So come to the community. come check it out. Work on these things. Anything. It's an armor off, mask off place. And I haven't seen it all, but I've seen a lot. So you're more than welcome. The link will be in the description. And try these for a couple days, couple weeks, see what you find. Leave me some comments. I'm really interested in seeing how your sleep experiments go. And I'm very interested in learning from you. What worked? What made a difference? Yep. If that landed, share it with somebody. Like and subscribe. That helps me too. But really, come to school. Come to the community. There's a free course in there for you to really work on burning fear for fuel. How do we actually find true freedom, sharing our life's purpose, penetrating the world with our love and our gifts. I enjoy being men in the world at this time. So, much love, gents. Talk to you soon.